So when I ask them questions about why are you interested in pursuing a career in HR, oftentimes you find that the students don't necessarily have an answer for that. And the same will happen in engineering, the same will happen in our marketing and sales types positions. The unfortunate thing is, I think that they're not quite thinking through the decisions that they're making for themselves right now. And that's limiting their ability to make a really strong career decision at such an important stage of their academic, professional development. And so for me, the things that I like to see students talk about or ask me about in interviews is asking me why I'm in this field, finding parallels about what I like about my job and what I don't like about my job. I like when they ask me about, I understand, they preface a question, I understand you launched the Play One last year. Are there plans for new products coming from Sonos? And if so, where are they in that space? Oftentimes I'll flip some of those questions around and say, what do you think we should do next? And it's fantastic when a student comes up with a response for that. So I think the questions that you ask speak to what you prioritize. And when you ask me very general questions like, how big is Sonos? How many offices do you have? What I'm thinking there is that important to you in making your decision? How is that important in you being passionate about the work that you do? Why not ask me about how I do my day-to-day job and find the areas that you find most interesting to drill down in? That to me would demonstrate someone who's really eager to learn more about this field. And for me, that's almost 50% of the university hiring model right there.
You also, and this is a place where I see so many mistakes and it's such a hot button for me, prepare answers to questions you think we might ask you. And most importantly, there should be 5 questions you ask every single person you meet. And I cannot tell you how many times people come in and I say, okay, I'm going to leave the last 10 minutes for you to ask me questions. And more times than not, people will say, oh, I already asked all the questions that I need to ask, so I don't have any questions for you, the director of HR. And that is when my feedback comes back to the team. If you think they have the technical skills, I'd support it, but they weren't professional enough or advanced enough to even think to ask me the 5 questions I like to see asked of every person. Those questions are, hey, Joanna, what's the culture like at the company? Since, by the way, culture is one of the main things that HR is responsible for. Tell me what's the day-to-day life like in your opinion. Because every person you ask is going to give somewhat of a different answer, but you'll be able to see the patterns and trends. Hey, Joanna, what do you think of the ideal characteristics that you're looking for in this person? So you can see, are they describing me? Does it sound like I have those characteristics? Hey, Joanna, what do you think are the biggest challenges this person's going to face? Because don't you want to know what are the challenges you're going to be up against? Hey, Joanna, what's it like to work with a hiring manager? How would you describe their working style? Because, by the way, that's the most important relationship you'll develop is the one with your manager. So don't you want to know how people describe working with that person? And the last question is, people love to talk about themselves. Hey, Joanna, why did you decide to come to iZotope? How long have you been here? So you can see these are basic questions that everyone's going to have an answer to give. And that gives you a lot of information to make sure that you're making the best decision, because the interview is a two-way process. It's not just you trying to impress the company. You want the company to be impressing you with the answers they're going to give, but you have to ask questions in order to get those answers. That's the place where people make the biggest mistake, is that piece. Also, you want to think about timely follow-up. I'm old-fashioned. I like to see a thank you note. You don't have to send the snail mail, but within 24 hours, I want to see a thank you note to every single person you've met, and not a cookie-cutter one either. You want to personalize it so that they know, hey, he was listening, he or she was listening. And it's okay to take notes, by the way. That's part of what your Petfolio provides you, as a notebook and a pen that you're bringing with you. So make sure to send the thank you notes. And of course, in order to send the thank you notes, you have to remember to ask them for the business card or have some contact at the company that can get you the email addresses so you know where to send the follow-up. So as you can see, I've been talking for about 5 minutes now. There's actually a lot that goes into the in-person interview. And again, it all comes back to preparation and professionalism. Even in a casual industry, at a casual company.